commercial the other day on the radio. It was kind of crazy. It made me think of this whole thing because it was talking about their like life insurance. And they're like, they've been lying to us the whole time. They're like, life insurance is not only supposed to be used for when you die, life insurance is
Oh
supposed
yeah.
to be used for when you're living as well. And they don't tell us that. And I was like, oh, I feel like I've learned about this. Like I understood what they were talking about just kind of because of what we've talked about, you know, and what I've learned from you. And it made me think like, okay, like that's what she's talking about. Part of my future and my dreams is I don't want to continue working for people. Like I eventually one day want to have some type of business or go into business with, like, my brother, he talks about like starting his own tile business because he wants that. And I'm like, you should do it. Like, let's do it. I'll go to school for accounting, like, or business management or some type of thing, you know, like
Right.
I just don't want to work for people for the rest of my life. Like I eventually want to be somewhere where like I'm running my own business or working with somebody to run a business.
Yeah,
So,
I share your vision, honestly, Brittany. Yeah, you know, I mean that's awesome. That's also like one of the purposes how this kind of policy with the cash, the liquid cash part of it, it can be your seed money. It depends on how much is in it, right? To fund your business, you know, because there's overhead expenses associated running a business. A lot of them they either take a loan or borrow it from like their family, right? Then or somewhere, even go to Shark Tank. But if you
yeah.
that's actually there's a concept called it's how you can become your own bank. Have you heard about that?
Uh-uh.
That's actually what they're talking about is this type of a policy. How do you become your own
Is
bank?
it a book or?
Oh, it's a oh, we should write a book like that. But yeah, I don't think there's actually a book title, How to Become Your Own Bank. But that's one of the ways this type of policy for living, right? Because we were talking about like the dying portion of it earlier about to support you, you know, people just become their own bank. Because think about it, you're taking a loan out of your own policy instead of take a loan from the bank.
Yeah.
You know, because you think about when people talk about take a loan, that's what bank does. Now you are taking a loan out of your own, you are your own bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, because your brother and sister, you know, 23, 26, that's what I feel. If I knew this 5 or 10 years ago, I would start at that time. It just, for me, I wish I know it a way earlier. So definitely for their age, it's just the sooner the better, you know? Yeah, I really just since we connected, it has such a pleasure just to interact with you and your fiance Ray and the three children, you know, get to know your family more and more. Do you have any advice, you know, from to the audience or to other people? If they either haven't heard about it or just feel like trapped, they don't know, you know, this kind of strategy. They're just stuck in the 401k or some other situation.
I advise people to, if they've never heard of anything like this before, to definitely reach out to somebody that does. Ask questions if they don't understand, because I feel like it's going to be beneficial for their future to have something like this versus a 401k. Because I mean, you look at all the people right now in the market and their 401ks are crashing and they're losing money, and it's scary for people because they've invested their whole lives into this thing and it's going away. So my advice is to definitely look into getting one of these policies and start paying into one of these policies and investing in your own future, because not only, you know, is the death benefit there, but you have the living benefit as well. So if, you know, you were diagnosed critically, chronically, or terminally with any illnesses, it would pay out for you as well. And then like we've talked about, you become pretty much your own bank in the future, and your money's growing. It's not just sitting somewhere like in, like if you were to get a CD, I have a CD account right now, and the interest rate on it going back is like 0.25%. It's ridiculous. It's tiny. Granted, interest rates on CDs have gone up a little bit, but I feel like investing into something like this over a CD is more beneficial for your future. So my advice is talk to somebody that is knowledgeable about this and start investing in your future.
Wow, that's so well said. Appreciate you, Brittany. I mean, you become like a really, really knowledgeable yourself, you know. It's kind of empowering, isn't it? Just to know things, the information, the right information, to
Well,
take control of your
you don't
future.
even know. Yeah, especially if you don't even know there's things like this out there.
Yes, absolutely. That's another thing, right? If you don't even know that's available, then that's why it's critical for us to share this, at least have a conversation, you know. It doesn't have to be, you know, it's nothing pressure or anything, just to hear about it. To see if that's something, you know, work for you. And plus with the, it's also not necessarily everyone can be qualified for that as well. So that's another thing to think about it. Yeah. Well, yeah, Brittany, it's a pleasure, you know. Again, thank you so much for your time and sharing your story and your wisdom with everyone else.
My pleasure.